This is Aftercast. You've got episode 34. Hello, this is Brandy Venzel, and I am pleased to welcome you to Aftercast, the audio companion to the Afterthoughts blog. For many years now, Afterthoughts has been a sort of intellectual watering hole for all of you classical Charlotte Mason homeschooling mamas out there. I like to call you Afterthinkers. You are thinking people, idea people, who never let a good book go to waste. You keep yourselves intellectually agile by reading books, often old books, and seeking out the best that has been thought and said and mixing it into your everyday lives of laundry and dishes and dinner and long division. Season 3 of Aftercast is sponsored by Charlotte Mason Boot Camp. Want to whip your Charlotte Mason muscles into shape? If so, my intense 6-week Charlotte Mason Boot Camp might be just the ticket. It'll take that philosophical flab and turn it into nothing less than confidence. I offer 3 sessions of Charlotte Mason Boot Camp per year, spring, summer, and fall. In 2019, I'm doing something extra special. I'm offering 2-week intensives, deep dives into some part of Charlotte Mason's philosophy, and it's available only to Charlotte Mason Boot Camp alumni. You know you want in, so to get on the Charlotte Mason Boot Camp interest list, go to afterthoughtsblog.net/cmbootcamp and sign up. Today is not just a review. Yes, we walk through everything we've learned over this huge series and remind ourselves of the amazingly numerous possibilities. But the point isn't the review. The point is to think of these as categories and then discover what similar options exist for us today. I think you'll find some real gems to help keep you learning in the midst of your busy days. A Mama's Continuing Education. Oh, the endless possibilities. This episode is going to be my attempt at a concise summary of all the pertinent installments in this series. Plus, I want to go beyond summarizing what we've learned about Charlotte Mason and continuing education and attempt a modern application. What could this look like in today's world? Life isn't exactly what it was over 100 years ago, if you haven't noticed, but I saw way more similarities than I saw differences when I was studying all of this. You may have noticed other categories, but I'm breaking this down into the categories that make sense to me. So we'll start with 1, variety of reading. It should come as no surprise that reading is the cornerstone of learning. Books are where the ideas live, and therefore where we must go if we want to find them. Also, books are small and portable. Unlike going to a conference, they are conveniently located right in our own homes. There's a difference between reading one book at a time and having a number of books going. As someone who always has at least 5 to 7 books going at a time, I can testify to the fact that books tend to interact with each other in spite of the covers which separate them. They can't help it. All these ideas jump off the page into our brains and start playing with one another. One book can round another out. Reading multiple books at a time also tends to slow us down. Gobbling a book may be fun, but it's not the best way to learn. Letting something sit and marinate is preferable. Throughout this series, we've seen numerous examples of variety. Miss Mason's own habit was to break up her workday with different types of reading. So the Bible came first thing in the morning. Light reading as a mid-morning break, listed as either punch or trollop. Classics for 10 minutes, classic meaning, Plato or Aristotle, etc. A travel or biography selection, an old novel, listed were authors like Bronte and Thackeray, the Times, literary essays, memoirs, and then, of course, a Waverley novel before bed. If you wanted to read by category, you could try using the topics from the Mother's Education course: Divinity, Physiology and Health, Mental and Moral Science and Education, and also Nature Lore and the Elements of Science. You could also add in some other topics that you personally are trying to learn about, of course. The bare minimum variety that I found anywhere, the one suggested for mothers in the most difficult years of mothering, meaning, the diaper and toddler years, was to have 3 books: a hard one, a moderately easy one, and a novel. 2, the importance of scheduling. I am understanding more and more that scheduling is key to making something happen. It is so easy to just watch life happen and then respond, and we all know that life often happens in spite of the schedule. But scheduling the things I want to get done has made a huge difference for me. It doesn't come naturally to me to schedule certain things, and yet when I do, I'm amazed at the results. Miss Mason had a pretty rigid schedule for her college students, and they all reaped huge benefits from that. If you want to read a book, for example, don't wait for time to find you. Instead, you seek out and find the time. Make a date with that time. Do it. 3, the minimum during the busiest seasons of motherhood. Mommy brain, it's a real problem, I know. Don't let it eat up all of your intellect. The Parents' Review suggested a minimum of 30 minutes of reading per day. This is what it takes to keep living. It'll help you think of something beyond the mommy wars and whether or not you want to use cloth diapers. Read a book on something other than being a mom. If you use the 3-book minimum I listed above, you'll find your brain refreshed and ready for action. 4, casual reading like magazines. Miss Mason edited the Parents' Review, as you know. Ambleside Online has purchased a number of these old volumes. Volunteers have typed them up, and now they're available online for free. Some of the content is outdated, yes, but you'd be amazed how much of it is timeless. My local reading group regularly uses these archives to supplement our other reading assignments. You can also take advantage of what is newly available today. Maybe you have your categories of reading all set, but don't have a book on your list for one of them? Perhaps a magazine is in order. For a couple years, I published Newbie Tuesday, a digital mini magazine that had a new Charlotte Mason theme each month. You can buy the back issues right here on Afterthoughts. The 2-volume set contains a total of 22 issues with 160 pages of Charlotte Mason goodness that is deep enough to feed your soul, but simple enough to relax with by the pool. If a physical magazine is more your style, I can attest after reading it cover to cover that the new Commonplace Quarterly is absolutely wonderful. A magazine doesn't have to focus on education to be helpful. You could subscribe to one that focuses on a subject area of interest. For Divinity, I like to read Modern Reformation. It covers current thought and theology all at once. I also think blogs are a modern version of magazines. If you subscribe with care, you end up with quality articles delivered to your email for free that can seriously help you continue your own education. 5, regular nature walks. Miss Mason took regular nature walks, and when she was too ill, she took a ride in her carriage instead. Her example reveals how important she thought it was to get out each day. This is hard for me because I get absorbed by my work. Lately, we've been doing about once every other week, though I'm trying to bring it to a once weekly at minimum. Ms. Mason's college students were required to take daily walks during fine weather. It's always easier when the weather is fine, isn't it? When our weather is perfect, we often do school at the park, which isn't quite the same as a walk, though we try to take a walk while we're there, but it translates into a number of extra hours outdoors for all of us. Getting in touch with and knowing your surroundings was something Miss Mason considered important. Back when I was drowning in diapers and toddlers, a daily walk helped a lot. It refreshed me and helped me get a bit of perspective. 6, formal study. Not all moms can or should take formal classes. If it would drown you to do this, then don't do it. But some of us thrive on this sort of thing, and Miss Mason did design her mother's education course. Ambleside Online hopes to debut their own modern version of the MEC, and this will be a valid option in the future, which is totally exciting. There are lots of classes available online. I offer Charlotte Mason Bootcamp 3 times per year. But again, I think it's important not to feel limited strictly to education. I've taken online classes on everything from guitar to sourdough. There are also classes available locally. I know someone taking an art class. I have a friend who recently took a cooking class. Take advantage of what is available in your area. 7. Lectures. It's true, lectures weren't used in Charlotte Mason's classrooms for the children, but that doesn't mean she didn't use them with adults. She gave lectures regularly as part of the liberal education for all movement. Her students received lectures at the college, and many of the Parents' Review articles were simply transcriptions of papers that had been presented at one of the PNEU local meetings. If your area is like my area, there are lectures you can attend. My church is part of an organization that brings in theology teachers multiple times per year. Our local college regularly has lectures available to the public, as do local clubs. If you keep your eyes and ears open, you might be amazed at what is available. In addition to this, I think podcasts are a great modern equivalent. There are a lot of helpful podcasts out there. You can even use your reading topic areas to help you balance your podcast subscriptions. I would encourage you to put podcasts through a twaddle filter just like you would reading material. Don't waste your time anywhere, including here. I regularly go through my podcast subscriptions, sorting them, deleting some, and looking to maintain a balance of varied subjects and topics. 8. Conferences. When people think of Charlotte Mason, they don't usually think of the latest mega conference, but that is sort of what she was doing. Her first conference in the late 1800s had over 300 people in attendance. The conference was attended by PNEU homeschool parents and governesses, teachers in the PNEU schools, Ambleside graduates, school headmasters, and others involved in education. She was trying to reach her entire country and regenerate the state of education. Conferences can be wonderful. There are now so many homeschool conferences and retreats. If you have the resources, I highly recommend hunting down a conference near you. 9. Local group meetings. This is really what Miss Mason's PNEU was doing. There was a central office, yes, but the local groups were very decentralized. Each had its own local leadership and arranged its own lecture series, and then reported back to headquarters. The local meetings were where the action was happening. These can't be classified as mini conferences because over time, groups like this can become quite intimate. They become a community. You might find that you don't just go to a meeting for information, though you'll definitely find that, but you also go for friendship and camaraderie, inspiration, motivation to keep going, help when a course correction is needed, and more. I cannot tell you how much my local group means to me. We get together, chat informally, chat formally, then we follow up with more informal chatter. I often arrive tired and harried, but I leave ready to face another month of this journey we call education. If you have one other Charlotte Mason mom that you know, you have what it takes to create a group. If you are looking for a local group, try to find one over at Charlotte Mason and Community or Scholé Sisters. You could even add your name as a leader starting a new group and see if anyone else finds you if you're feeling rather lonely. Oh, the endless possibilities. My purpose here is not to make you feel like you aren't doing enough, whatever enough means. What I have aimed to do is to show you how big is the world of continuing self-education. Don't limit yourself. Don't discount activities you're involved in because they don't consist of reading a book. If you're learning and getting inspired, that's good. Some of these things are seasonal. A conference is once per year, often in the summer. Some of these things are intermittent. Our local group meets monthly except December and September. There are times when you can read 7 books and times when you'll only be able to do the 3-book, 30-minute per day minimum. Just don't forget that this matters. It matters that you learn how to live. It matters that you model delight in learning for your children. Learning is, after all, essential to what it means to be human. You can mix and match these elements to fit your life, and you can change things as your life changes. What I want you to see is a world that is totally open to you. Don't think you can't learn or don't have time to learn. Instead, figure out what will work for you and then do it. You'll be glad you did. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you for joining me here at Aftercast. If you want to find the posts associated with these episodes, just go to afterthoughtsblog.net/podcast. That's afterthoughtsblog.net/podcast. There you'll easily find links for each episode. Now is the time for me to ask you to head on over to your podcast player and give Aftercast a rating and review. While you're at it, you might as well make it 5 stars, don't you think? Leaving ratings and reviews is a way to let others know about the show, so I'd really appreciate it. And finally, don't forget in the midst of your busy days that mothers are people too. Just like your children need sunshine and good food and sleep and, yes, good books to read, so do you. So go, read a book, think a thought, and then come back and join me for the next episode.